Good morning, everyone. It's September the 25th, 2023. I hope everyone has enjoyed their first full weekend of fall. And before we get into a new season here, as we're getting into, I just wanted to say happy fall, and hopefully it's going to be a good fall. So what I want to talk about today is social media and our news channels. Now, a lot of our young people are very influenced by all the social media and the YouTube channels like I have here, and we have so many different ways of communicating. And this is how a lot of the people get their news today. It's not like we used to sit down and read the newspapers or just watch the TV. Yes, it's still on the TV, but we have a lot of things that influence our young people today. And I'll give you an example. I told you a few videos back that I was running into young people who were considering not having children today because of the way the world was and what they were seeing and experiencing with the high rents, not being able to get a house. And the polls were showing this, and of course this was now broadcast on CTV National News, that this was actually happening. So therefore, it wasn't something false or something fake news or something made up. It's actually happening. Our young people are very much in trouble over this. And so this is one of the things that I wanted to briefly mention again, that we're in trouble if we don't have our young people. And our young people definitely need our help. And the other thing is that with all this social media and that, it also brings on bad behavior from what they see. And this is what we've, even the adults when I was young, talked about all the violence on TV, when we just had the TV before the social media, that it was making our kids change and that. So this is another thing that is being brought forward. And I know when I talk to the seniors, it's something that we bring forward too. But it's been so much more exasperated, let's put it that way, with the social media and stuff. And one of the things now having the social media and the news, I pick up a lot of the channels and stuff in the States, and this is one of the things that I'm seeing in the States right now, is that I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised by it. Where this truck, they got it, of course, on security cameras, where now that we've legalized pot, both in Canada and a lot of the states in the United States have too. We saw the truck on the security cameras rammed right into the front of the pot store. They hopped in and they stole all the pot and stuff, which is really interesting to see. And they just drove off with all the proceeds of the pot. So I'm looking at this and boy, what's happening here? Our dogs our police dogs who are sniffing out the drugs and that doing such a good job now that they have to go rob the pot shops to sell their stuff, or what's happening here? This is really interesting to me. Just being able to sit back and actually watch the media and see what's going on here. So there's probably many different explanations for it. I mean, we have the fentanyl or the bad, or as my friend died, her son died from a weed laced with fentanyl, or are they trying to get the better stuff? Are their clients dying off so fast now with the bad stuff that they're getting? They have to go rob the pot shops now and look for the drugs. And then, the other thing we're seeing now is the way it looks like candy, and our children are getting into that and ending up in the emergency room. So there's a lot of things that are going on right now that I'm watching and are very interesting. And of course, I like to bring you some news and my opinions on what's going on. But it's, and I suspect that this is going to be coming up to Canada, because we usually follow the States, whether it's a year or two later. We're usually following in them. And that's one of the things that is happening right now, is during the pandemic that we saw the swarmings down the States, where the youth were going in large groups and robbing the shopping centers, pushing the clerks to the side and just going in and swiping everything off the shelves. And I just got a report on that recently from someone that this was something that was starting to happen right now. And another thing we're seeing, that I'm seeing too with the swarmings, was I had a friend. Most of us all have a dealer somewhere in our building. The building's down here. And I went to, of course, we have the buzzer. My friend buzzed in. No problem. I heard her voice. I buzzed her in. And right after I buzzed her in, 6 people swarmed her and then pushed their way into the building into my apartment building after her. So I was glad she wasn't hurt or injured. But this is the sort of stuff that we're seeing from our young people right now, because they're so discouraged. They figure that this is the only way that they've got to go is to be disruptive to our society. And this is not certainly the way we were brought up after the Second World War. None of us baby boomers were. We were taught respect right across the board for everyone and everything. So this is kind of difficult for us because we're trying to live in a world that we were not brought up in. But what are we bringing our children up into right now? So that's a major concern to us. And then another thing is the mental health. And that's another one. And just watching TV, pops up on the news channel again. Our police department here was saying they cannot believe the number of arrests for drunk driving right now. So this certainly helps to show the state of our mental health if we're going backwards instead of forwards. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on where I'm thinking and where I'm coming from. There's certainly ways that we can do things to help each other and definitely work within the community. I think that's the way we have to go, is work within our communities, within the larger city, trying to make each community a better place to live in. If we can do that, that will be one part of the building block back after the pandemic where we've ended up right now, because what I'm seeing is, even my doctor was talking about it there too, with the shortage of doctors and everything, we were looking at each other and agreeing on one thing. It took us a good 2 to 3 years to get in through this pandemic. It might take us another 3 or 4 years to even things out and settle things. So this is what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to give you a brief on where I was thinking and what I was doing. But I always love to give my opinion, and I'm glad we have that part of freedom of speech. But I don't have to swear. I don't have to use violence, because that's the last thing I do. I do not advocate violence. What we have to do and changes have to come peacefully. Violence gets you nowhere. And this is coming from the advice, definitely, of the ancestors and those who came before us, and my parents and whatnot. So this is what I just wanted to briefly talk about today. So I'll give you updates regularly, and we shall talk to you again soon. And bye-bye, and take care, and be safe.